When people talk about the 60s, they often think of popular films like 2001: A Space Odyssey or Planet of the Apes. But today, let's look at lesser-known sci-fi movies from the same decade that may have slipped from your memory, or maybe you never knew them at all. A noir sci-fi film directed by John Frankenheimer. The story follows Arthur Hamilton, a successful businessman with a wife, an adult daughter, and a career on the rise. On the surface, it seems like he has it all, but in reality, he's grown tired of everything. One day, after receiving a call from a childhood friend who was thought to be dead, Arthur contacts a mysterious company that offers to create an entirely new identity for him. They promise to perform plastic surgery, alter his fingerprints, and change his life completely. Due to blackmail, Arthur reluctantly agrees. While this film is fairly well known, it is still considered underrated. At the time of its release, its unconventional filming style, controversial theme of the American dream's collapse, and lack of a happy ending left audiences and critics cold. Today, such elements may no longer be shocking, but in the 60s, they were groundbreaking. This sci-fi drama, directed by Ralph Nelson and starring Cliff Robertson, earned Robertson an Academy Award for his performance. Based on Daniel Keyes' novel Flowers for Algernon, the film follows Charly, a mentally challenged bakery worker who is often mocked by his co-workers. Unaware of their cruelty, Charly dreams of becoming smarter so he can qualify for a better job. He meets Alice Kinnean, an English language teacher, who introduces him to a clinic conducting experimental surgeries to treat intellectual disabilities, tested so far only on lab mice. The doctors soon decide to try the procedure on a human, and Charly becomes their first candidate. This French sci-fi film about time travel was set to premiere at the Cannes Film Festival in 1968, but missed its chance due to political unrest during the student protests in France. However, its 2000s re-release brought renewed attention. Critics praised its philosophical depth, inspired by Henri Bergson, and its unique editing style, which vividly conveys Bergson's ideas. The story follows Claude Ritter, a man who, after a failed suicide attempt, agrees to participate in a time travel experiment. He is sent back for 1 minute to 1966, a time when his wife was still alive. But things quickly spiral out of control. This British sci-fi horror film is based on the TV series of the same name, which aired in the late 1950s. It is the third and final film in the Quatermass series, following the adventures of Professor Quatermass. The film stands out for its unique blend of genres. While it's primarily science fiction, it also incorporates elements of philosophy, mysticism, and even religion. Watching it evokes comparisons to the works of H.P. Lovecraft, and for good reason. The story begins underground, where workers building a subway tunnel discover the remains of ancient humans, estimated to be 5 million years old. Soon after, a strange, large object is found nearby, initially assumed to be a World War II-era bomb. Attempts to open it fail, but eventually the object opens on its own. Another sci-fi horror film, this time a collaboration between the United States and Italy. It is based on the same source material as the 2007 film I Am Legend, Richard Matheson's novel. The story follows Dr. Robert Morgan, the sole survivor of a deadly plague that wiped out most of humanity and turned some of its remaining members into mindless, vampire-like monsters that can't withstand sunlight. Matheson was not fond of this film, and his opinion of the 1971 adaptation was similarly negative. By the time I Am Legend was released in 2007, Matheson was elderly, and few paid attention to his views. In fact, with each new film based on the book, the plot strayed further from the original vision. That's why The Last Man on Earth remains the closest to the source material, and that's what makes it valuable. An Oscar-winning film for Best Art Direction and Best Visual Effects. The story follows a special team of doctors who are shrunk to microscopic size to enter the body of a valuable scientist and perform brain surgery to remove a blood clot. They have just 60 minutes before they return to their normal size. The screenplay for Fantastic Voyage was novelized by Isaac Asimov and released before the film was completed, giving the impression that the movie was based on Asimov's book. The central concept was later parodied and explored in various forms, including in the animated series Futurama. Even by today's standards, the special effects hold up remarkably well, and in the 60s, they were nothing short of groundbreaking. This film has earned its place in film history and is here to stay.